Touhou 10 Mountain of Faith is the 10th game in the Touhou project, a series of Danmaku shooters created by Team Shanghai Alice of Japan. It is a doujin, or independent game. Mountain of Faith was released on August 17, 2007 at the biannual Comiket convention in Tokyo, Japan. The game, except for menus and heads-up display text, is entirely in Japanese, and no translation patch exists thus far. Danmaku, roughly translated, means bullet hell or curtain fire. Danmaku shooters are a subgenre that emphasize massive amounts of slow-moving bullets spammed across the entire screen, forcing the player to dodge and weave between them. The appeal is both the challenge and the aesthetic beauty of the bullet patterns. This short video will focus on an analysis of the first level of Mountain of Faith. In Mountain of Faith, a player must choose a difficulty level, one of two possible characters, and one of three weapons associated with each character. For my run-through, I will be playing on normal, using Rainmu, a Shrine Maiden, and using her A weapon. The A weapon provides homing shot from her options, and bombs that clear bullets around Rainmu in a large radius. When the game starts, the item get line is prominently displayed. If the item get line is crossed by the player, all items on the screen will fly immediately to the player. A useful tactic is to touch the line and then immediately dash back to collect items when there is a lull in the action. Stage 1 structure consists of several waves of enemies, followed by the mid-boss, followed by a couple more waves of enemies, and capped off by the boss. Enemies will appear in roughly two formations, line astern and line abreast, and will attempt to combine fire to destroy the player. There are two kinds of enemies in Stage 1. Minor enemies are small enemies that are struck in one hit and fire only one bullet at a time. There are also heavy fairies, which require both multiple bullets to destroy and fire multiple bullets at the player. The mid-boss and boss are the most interesting parts of the level, as both create interesting Danmaku patterns. The mid-boss has two patterns, and once both are finished, the mid-boss is defeated. Touhou has a storyline, but as there is no translation patch, it is impossible to follow in-game without knowledge of Japanese. All Touhou games take place in the mythical land of Gensokyo, and are thematically about maintaining balance between deities and spirits inspired by Shinto religion. Mountain of Faith centers around investigating the early appearance of the autumn season, and in its first level, Rainmu confronts the deity of the changing of the color of the leaves. The Stage 1 boss has four patterns, two regular and two spell cards. The spell card is an especially difficult pattern, and there is a score bonus associated with completing it without dying or deploying a bomb. The boss's first spell card pattern takes the form of a series of expanding, interlocking concentric circles of bullets. Each circle must be avoided by carefully moving through its gaps, and is actually slightly challenging. The non-spell card patterns both consist of expanding concentric circles of bullets, broken by a large spear pattern of small red bullets. The second appearance of this pattern uses larger spears to increase the difficulty. In the second spell card, the boss spams lasers across the screen, and fills the gaps between them with small red bullets. The player must pay attention to find a large gap between lasers, so the player has enough room to avoid the small red bullets and not die. This next section displays a comparison of the first mid-boss on the four different difficulty modes, starting on easy. Notice the increasing complexity of the patterns as the difficulty increases. Mountain of Faith is not an easy game on any difficulty. Shooting games are one of the oldest genres, extending back to Space Invaders. Over the years, fans of the shooting genre have demanded harder and harder games as their skills increase. Touhou plays to this demand and is very difficult. An unfortunate side effect of this progression is that games are often too hard for newcomers, and the genre's market has shrunk as it becomes more and more hardcore. In general, as the difficulty increases, we see the bullet speed and count increase. The bullets move faster, and there are many more of them in each element of the pattern. Furthermore, on the hard and lunatic difficulty modes, the mid-boss replaces her second pattern with a spell card pattern. We see that I have some trouble defeating her, dying a couple of times and having to utilize my bombs to stay alive. Experienced players of Touhou often attempt score attack, that is, to aim for a high score. Dying once is not a detriment to this, and in some strategies considered helpful due to the power items the avatar drops on death. However, dying more than twice consumes all of your lives, and you can continue to reset your score to 0. This makes death undesirable at best. I hope you have enjoyed this video and hope you found it informative. Touhou is an often overlooked but very good series of Danmaku shooting games and definitely worth a try.